Hello, friends and fans, and welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm Jack, and I'm joined here with Liam.
Hello.
And we have our special guest returning, Anya.
Hi.
So I'm going to be taking a back seat today, and I'm going to be listening to these two have it out over a debate which concerns Emma. It's all going to be about whether she's a good person, a bad person. Was she right to kiss Nick? We're going to find out. So, guys, let's have at it.
Okay, thank you, Jack. So before we begin, I'll say which stance we're taking. So I myself, in the red corner, I was going to be saying Emma was totally wrong to kiss Nick. And then we have Anya, who is our #1 Emma fan in the world, aren't you?
Oh yeah, totally.
And you're going to be saying that Emma did nothing wrong. So before the video begins, I know that there are a lot of passionate Emma fans out there. I think Emma is probably the most split character I've ever seen in Supermassive Games history. I've seen people do their top 9 ranking lists. She's first a lot. She's 9th a lot. She is 5th a lot, certainly in Jack and I's case. I just want to say I bloody love Emma as a character. I think she's so well written. I want to say I love the vlog dynamic, the facial expressions. Halston Sage crushes it. One of the top 3 performances in the game acting-wise for me. And I absolutely love that she's flawed. I just want to say that I'm playing devil's advocate today, and what I'm defending is that I do think what she did at the campfire was wrong. And before the Emma fans, because don't get me wrong, as much as they attack, they are passionate, and you have to respect that. I will just be defending, Abigail, I guess, in this sense, that I do think what Emma did at the campfire was wrong. So, Anya, do you have any disclaimers you want to say before the bell rings?
I think I will just say that, I won't say she did nothing wrong, but I will, try and, push in a direction that she's not, the worst person in the world for doing that.
Of course. Okay, brilliant. I mean, I'll just start it. I'll get the ball rolling. Emma shouldn't have made out with Nick, Anya. This is funny, actually, because I remember when we were first playing the game, I think I first messaged you, didn't I? Because I said, oh, whoa, Emma's gone down in my book. And then I messaged you, oh, yeah, your favourite character, you've probably lost a bit of respect for her, eh? And then you just replied, no. And then I was like, And then my eyes lit up, we are making this video. So I'm actually really proud and, happy that you're taking that stance, because I think it's great. And I love that this character can split opinions this much. The first thing I'm going to do here is just a classic thing I do in anything in life when there's kind of controversy, and that is putting myself in someone's shoes. And something I want to do here is I want to put myself in the shoes of Abby, and I'm going to put Jack here in the shoes of Emma. So let's say that we're all around a campfire, we're having drinks. Jack's just broke up with someone, his summer fling. He's ready to move on with his summer. Now, I really like this girl across the campfire, okay? She's my dream girl. We've been flirting a lot throughout the summer. And, Jack knows I have this thing for her. Earlier, he was broing me out. He was hitting me on the shoulder yeah, make a move. It's the last night. Come on, Liam. Get with this girl. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And we're having this, campfire. We're playing Truth or Dare. And someone asks Jack, do you want to kiss your ex who you had the fling with, or the girl that Liam likes? Now, for myself, I don't have a problem with Jack picking the girl I like, because, that girl that Jack just broke up with still likes him. And I'm yeah, I completely understand it. Now, what I'd expect Jack to do is maybe peck her on the cheek or on the lips, because I've played Truth or Dare before and that happens, But what I'm just going to say is that if Jack goes over there and makes out with this girl, I'm just going to say it, but I'm falling out with Jack. I'm losing so much respect for him. And, I mean, bless Jack, he wouldn't do that to me anyway, because he's an absolute bro. But I'd feel really betrayed. And I feel like Abby has every right to run off into the forest. And I don't want to solely attack Emma here, because I think Nick is completely in the wrong as well. I feel if you really like the other girl, you should kind of keep it as a pet and then push her away or be like, nah, because I like this girl or whatever. But I feel like Emma's completely wrong to make out with Nick in front of her best friend after egging her on, saying that, oh yeah, you should get with him. And not only that, but the cherry on the cake and the icing on the cake here is by saying, oh, he's good, in front of her. I just feel like that's really inconsiderate to her best friend. So yeah, I've been chatting a while, but Anya, I'll pass the mic to you.
You said so freaking much just there. I have to like reorganize the thoughts in my head to like go one by one here. I mean, yeah, like making out with him is a little much, but consider the fact like, yeah, Nick also does it right back, and like he will argue later like, yeah, we're just messing with Jacob mostly. Like I don't have feelings for Emma. She doesn't really have anything for me either. She just kind of needs to get a point across to Jacob, because a lot of people like get on her case as well for leading Jacob on like at the lake or whatever, which I also don't think she really was trying to do. But I feel like if she were to like kiss Jacob there, because Caitlin comes up with the dare knowing full well, quote, that Emma has made up her mind about Jacob. And Caitlin, picked that dare specifically, she said, to give Abby like the nudge that she needed. And then Emma just kind of goes along with it. Like, yeah, if my best friend kissed my crush or made out with my crush, I'd probably be upset as well. But it does like exactly what Caitlin and Emma intend, to get like Abby and Nick talking and confronting their feelings, even if it was like the worst way to go about it. I think Emma is just kind of a person who lives very in the moment and doesn't really think much about the consequences. Like she'll just try and be theatric and put on a show, and then after the fact she'll be like, oh shit. But like she does say later on, like she just wants to fan the flames. It was just a dare. Like I'm not a bitch because I wouldn't like do that under any other given circumstances. Like come on, it's truth or dare. Like, and there's alcohol involved. There's gonna be drama in that kind of game. But yeah, she definitely could have just given like a little mwah and be done with it. I think going back to like the not really knowing the consequences of stuff, I feel like the he's good comment to play like on her good intention side. Maybe she was just kind of saying that as like a, hey, nudge nudge, you won't be disappointed when you go kissing him later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But, like, in that moment, like, I can definitely see where people are like, okay, it's a little rough for her to hear after already seeing that. But I think it was less to hurt Abby and more to, like, get a point across to Jacob. Even if it was, like, very intense on both ways. But, like, what is she gonna do? They're playing a game, and Caitlin only gave her a certain option purely for those drama purposes. Like, even when they cut back to Caitlin, Dylan, and Ryan, they're like, that was some great social disruption, Caitlin. And she was like, yeah, I'm proud of it.
Of course. I think with Truth or Dare, it is very much a game, especially if you're close friends. And let's face it, these guys would have had a whole summer to bond. And I think, like, you know, they would have been at the point where they will push boundaries and break walls. And I think Truth or Dare very much is a game where it's, you know, designed almost to kind of see how far you'll go in the game. And I feel, yeah, Caitlin's very sneaky, very sly, possibly likes a little bit of drama. You know, she is clearly like the center girl who knows everyone. She's clearly outspoken. And, you know, I do agree. I think Caitlin does like to put a little bit of, you know, salt in the wound, or, you know, tries to stir the pot a little bit. She's not completely in the right, but I do think that, you know, like Truth or Dare, every now and then someone will be like, oh, Jack, I dare you to eat a shoe. I don't expect him to do it, but it's very much like, you know, Truth or Dare will throw those kind of things, and it's very much about how you react with it. So it's like, you know, if someone threw me under the bus, I'd be a bit like, oh, you know what? I take the forfeit. And you mentioned Jacob earlier, and I think it is a really good point. Now, I am with a lot of Emma fans in this debate where they mention that Jacob's wrong here, because I do agree. It's a summer fling, and I get that he has a tough time letting go of Emma. Because, yeah, let's face it, you know, a lot of guys would struggle to let go of Emma after the summer. And he, you know, he's clearly a very morally corrupt person by sabotaging the car and, like, what, you know, being a borderline serial killer to get one more night with her. I would agree, though. I do think it is a little, as possessive as he is, saying "I'll get off my girlfriend," even though that's like really possessive and like horrible.
And then he like tries to like hush her too when she says like I'm not anybody's girlfriend. It's just like,
Yeah.
Jacob, sit down.
I do agree, but I would say though that like as someone who has broken up with girls before, it's like you've got to be so kind of discreet and sensitive with it. If you've done it like if you've broke up with someone and the same day or the next day or whatever you're making out with someone in front of them on the spotlight, I just think that is like I think it is very insensitive. Even for someone like Jacob, who often needs borderline a reality check and a slap in the face, for like pelvic thrusting keys and dancing with his watermelons. I think Jacob, like I do think that is a little harsh on Jacob. I will admit.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. You figure too, like this is a night that they weren't even supposed to have in the first place.
Of course.
So like they could have all just been home cozy in their beds and nothing would have happened. There would have been no drama. I don't know. And then the thing is too, like Nick and Abby, yeah, they liked each other, but they weren't like together. So
yeah, and there is that point, isn't there, where if you walk up the stairs, I never had this in my first playthrough, but apparently Emma does give a bit of reasoning, which does help your corner a little bit here, where she does say, "Oh, I did this to help them. It was to egg them on a bit like maybe Josh in Until Dawn was doing for Chris and Abby."
Yeah. Chris and Abby.
Chris and Abby? Who is it? Chris and Ashley, that's the one. There's a bit of crossover for you guys. But yeah, I would say though that if we go back to my scenario where Jack's in Emma's shoes, if he made out with the girl I liked to spur me on, I think the opposite effect would happen. I feel I'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that. You made out with my best friend and you made out with the girl I like. It's like two bridges got burnt here, and I feel like you mentioned before, Emma is very much this character where she lives in the moment. I feel it very much bleeds in very cleverly with her writing into this vlog dynamic she has, where she's clearly a showgirl, isn't she? And she likes living for the moment. She potentially does stuff for her fans. Maybe she likes to have a story to tell. So yeah, I do think that maybe it is the kind of thing where she has these actions and she doesn't necessarily read the full consequences, because it is shown afterwards that she does feel remorse. If Abby potentially dies, you can clearly see how upset Emma is. So it's not like that she doesn't hate Abby. She really is her best friend, isn't she?
Yeah, and she'll like cry in front of Dylan and Caitlin, and she doesn't really strike me as a character who would like really cry in front of people, at least not much. Yeah. So for her to like really just openly show how much she cares about Abby right there, it's really sad. And then you like see her eyes all puffy and
yeah, it really is actually. And yeah, I did find that as well. Like when you see her eyes puffy, I was actually pretty amazed of like the effects and the graphics of the game. I'm like, holy shit, this girl has actually been crying, and it's some of the best graphics I've seen for someone crying in a game. It wasn't just watery eyes; it was like the skin, wasn't it? It was really good.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say as well to kind of maybe like throw back at you, see how you react to it, is I would say that obviously, yeah, it upsets Jacob, it upsets her best friend. Another thing I would say is that it's also maybe inconsiderate that you could probably say it also ruins the party. Like, you've also got Dylan and Ryan sat there, for example, and the action of it is, whatever her reasons behind it were, it does kill the evening. Everyone's having a fun game with some drinks, some chats, and the whole night turns on its head and dies because of Emma's, little, 30 seconds of fun. So I just wanted to know your thoughts about that, like about her maybe not considering the wider room.
I mean, you figure with a game like this, it was going to happen with one of the characters eventually. Like, they have to get split up for horror. It's like the same thing with like Jess and Emily or Mike and Matt fighting in the lodge and Josh being like, okay, get out of here. Because like someone is going to have to be in that drama. Someone's going to have to start something to split up the group. I think the thing that hurts Emma the most is that there's no choice involved in it. Like, she's going to do it every time, no matter what. Like, if maybe we could have, like, picked who we wanted, like, if there was a way Jacob and Emma could get back together. Although I do like that she's, like, very set no matter what. Like, yeah, no, we're not good together. Like, maybe drama could have happened some other way. Like, maybe Caitlin is like, hey, Jacob, dare you to tell everybody what happened to the van? And then everybody gets pissed. Like, I don't know. I think someone had to do it, and I think Caitlin and Emma kind of like tag team the drama there, but like Emma is like the main center of it, obviously, because she's like doing the action. But
of course. Yeah, no, that's it. And I do think from a writing point of view, I fucking love this scene. I think it's so good to get, you know, Nick and Abby out in the woods to start the wolves fight for the first time. I think it's good to kind of have Caitlin, Nick and Dylan as a group by being the three stuck there at the fire, and also for setting, you know, the Emma running after Jacob. It is a really good scene to get, you know, all the chess pieces in the right place. So I will agree with that one. One, you know, I'm near the end of my points really. One final point I just wanted to mention really from my end is that obviously we know that the Quarry characters, they all have very specific weird second names, don't they? From Urzhala to Kostos to Ferchillo or whatever.
Fercillo.
Yeah, Fercillo, yeah, however it is. I'm a Brit, you know, we can't do second names. But either way, you know, like half our country's called Smith, so... but yeah, I was just wanted to ask you that. Obviously, have you done research into Emma's second name, which is obviously Mountebank?
Yeah, like the second they came out, I took a look at it, and like it's the definition's like a person who deceives others or something, like in order to trick them out of their money. Like obviously there's no money involved here. I feel like people definitely look at that as like oh, she's a fake bitch, but I think of it more of like her social media presence. Like she can say to Abby like, I just want to make people happy. I make people laugh. Maybe I'm dumb for it, but I'm making people happy. So I think it's kind of like she's deceiving herself almost. Kind of like Dylan, like with his whole blasé thing. Like, people laugh at me and this is the persona they like. But
of course,
like, I'm kind of like losing the real me, and like I don't even know who that is right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good answer, because it's obviously a very subjective thing. But, you know, some of the definitions that came out of that word were charlatan and swindler, which obviously aren't very nice words. But I'm just trying to think, like, Supermassive Games picked these names for a reason, and I'm trying to think, why would they give her Mountebank? And I'm thinking, like, maybe the writers, you know, don't want you to not necessarily hate Emma, but they're trying to also tell you, yeah, what she's doing here is wrong. Like, she's doing some Mountebank actions, if you get me. But yeah, like, I mean, you know, obviously your take on it's very good, though. So, yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, do you have any points to hit me with? I think, you know, this morning you mentioned you had, like, a Until Dawn-based one, which I'm really intrigued by.
Yeah, there was something I've been thinking about a lot lately, where you and we both love Jessica, right?
We do.
Would you consider Jessica, like, kind of like a character people generally like? Like, you see more people like her than hate her?
Yeah, a lot of people hate her. I feel like her playability does bleed into like a lot of the fact she's not really high on people's rank, because the game do her dirty quite a bit. But
yeah, I feel like I don't really see people like hate her. At least not like the way that they do like Emily or Emma. But I find it funny because like I love Jessica a lot. I know a lot of people who do, or they at least like her, or even if they don't have an opinion on her, they don't hate her. But Jessica and Emily were best friends the year before, and now she's dating Emily's ex-boyfriend Mike, and now that's why Emily is like so angry and such a bitch, because she's been betrayed by like not one but two people, because like they're literally dating. It's not just like a dare of a game where they just have a smooch. And then like I'm wondering, is it like quote unquote more okay that Jess does that to Emily because Emily is such a bitch, but like Abby is more likable and kind, so it looks more bad? Like if Abby was more unlikable, would people hate Emma as much as they do for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting question, and it's obviously quite tricky because obviously with Until Dawn, you've got that prologue, haven't you, where I guess Emily and Mike are a thing, I guess, and then you know, it skips a year later, doesn't it? And then obviously there's a lot of stuff that's happened behind the scenes, and we don't really know the nature of the breakup. Obviously there's bad blood between Jess and you know, Emily. But it's just a matter of whether, you know, Mike decided to make out with, you know, one girl after his ex within the space of like 24 hours or whatever. That, you know, that's the question. But yeah, it's one of those where, like, obviously we'll never really know with the Until Dawn prologue. You know, like, there are obviously some flaws between Jess and Emily, which are really evident. But Yeah, I just think obviously whether we're talking about like an inconsiderate and insensitive nature of the action of the makeout, I think obviously Emma's just like very like it just struck me when I saw the scene. I was like, oh, Emma, don't you do that was bad. Come on, Emma,
Yeah.
you're better than that. But like I say, I mean, from a writing point of view, I absolutely loved it. But no, I mean, brilliant. Anything else there, Anya? Because I'm all out.
I don't know. I guess just my final thoughts. They didn't have to make out, but also Nick used tongue for a game, slut, and Caitlin was the mastermind. Abby says it herself. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my conclusion would be like, I don't think she's wrong to kiss Nick, but I think she's wrong to make out with Nick.
Yeah.
I'd also say that I think Nick is 50-50 in the wrong, and I don't think she deserves Abby after that, or he deserves Abby after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I want to stress as well, like, because I know a lot of incels on the internet out there defend Jacob over Emma. Jacob's equally wrong. He's really possessive. He like destroyed the car. Like, yeah, Jacob's no saint either. Like I say, the question here is whether, you know, Emma was wrong to kiss Nick, and I think maybe not kiss but make out. So it is one of those ones where it is very subjective. But yeah, no, I mean, that was a really interesting debate. It's why I love this game, and it's why I love Emma as a character. She splits opinions, and it's just so refreshing to hear different people talk. Because, for example, like you look at a game like House of Ashes, Salim, we all love him, we all share the same opinions, but I don't find him fascinating because we're all thinking the same thing. A character like Emma just absolutely like splits the board and the table, and it's just so refreshing to hear these debates. So yeah. I mean, I'm happy to pass it back to you, Jack.
If he's even here.
Fuck's sake, I was sat there struggling with the bloody mute button. Yeah, no, guys, but yeah, a very fair and friendly debate. I mean, you managed to prevent yourselves from hurling insults at one another, like Jess and Emily and Until Dawn, which is good to see.
Liam couldn't hold a moldy loaf of bread with his skanky ass.
Yeah, it's all for show, guys. They're gonna rip into it. But yeah, guys, obviously do let us know what you think in the comments. Do you sympathise with Liam's view more or Anna's view more, and give your reason as well. Anna. The guys. Fuck it, I think I do. So yeah, guys, do give your comments in the comment section. Fuck me. So yeah, guys, do give us your thoughts in the comments section. Who did you agree with more, Liam or Anya? Is Emma a good or bad person for kissing Nick? And give us your reasoning as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us for this debate episode, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye.